I talk about data analysis. When you see the picture, what do you understand by data analysis? Can someone tell me? Let's go back. What did I say was, see, if you remember our steps in research process was, we identified a research problem, right? Then we found out the background of the study to gain more clarity, review of literature, right? We were reviewing all the literatures, past study, and then we saw what aspects were studied, what aspects were not studied. And then we also said about how do we say, for example, after that we said that what is a gap in the study. मतलब जो aspect पढ़ा नहीं है ना, वो क्या था, वो देखा था. Then we also said, along with that, we studied that methodology. What methodology will I apply? हमने एक idea ले लिया था review of literature में. इसके बारे में क्या पढ़ा गया है, क्या नहीं पढ़ा गया है, कौन से aspect में हमें पढ़ना है, ये सब idea ले लिया. Then we went to methodology. कैसे डेटा कलेक्ट करेंगे, कितने डेटा कलेक्ट करेंगे, क्या सैम्पलिंग मेथड यूज करेंगे, राइट, एंड क्या एनालिसिस मेथड यूज करेंगे, डेटा कैसे कलेक्ट करेंगे, डेटा को कैसे एनालाइज करेंगे, राइट. एंड देन वी वेंट इनटू डेटा कलेक्शन, प्रैक्टिकल पार्ट. रिसर्च मेथोडोलॉजी में जो डिस्कस करते हैं ना, उसको इम्प्लीमेंट भी हमें करना है, राइट. सो हाउ डिड वी इम्प्लीमेंट? वी कलेक्टेड द डेटा wherein we discussed about various sources of data, sampling sources. If it is primary sampling, and then we collected say or census method, and then वहाँ से हमने primary sources में हमने काफी tools लगा के collect किए थे. Interview, observation, schedule, questionnaire, and then say all other possible methods we used, right? Then we discussed about secondary sources from books or from magazines or publications, periodicals, etc. याद है आपको? After collecting all the data, what did we do? We compiled them, we edited and coded the data and classified them. Edit करते टाइम हमने क्या किया था? We saw field editing and then we had office editing या in-house editing. So field में ही जो नहीं चाहिए, जहाँ पे भरना है, इनकम्प्लीट क्वेश्चनर्स चेक करके क्या क्या भर सकते हैं हमने देखा. एंड देन इनकम्प्लीट या अगर काफी इनकम्प्लीशन हो तो वी इवन रिमूव इट, राइट. सो दैट वाज एडिटिंग वी डिड. देन वी कोडेड द डेटा, मेल फीमेल के लिए 1 2, एंड देन फॉर एज ग्रुप्स 1 2 3 एंड सो ऑन. वी कोडेड द डेटा एंड देन we classified them, we uploaded them in the software, classified them in tabular form, graphical form, etc. याद है आपको? Do you remember till here the entire subject of the course of research methodology in a nutshell I gave you. We'll talk about analyzing the collected data and interpreting them. Here when I say the researcher analyzes the themes and the general tendencies of the data, he's going to see based on what the data is moving, how it is moving, etc. And then he provides his interpretation using graph, etc. Right? So what are the steps involved in data collection? Number one, before data collection and after data collection, he has to analyze the data. When I analyze before data collection, first of all, I will determine what is my method of data collection. What method do I use, right? So do I use a questionnaire method? Do I use an interview schedule? वहीं पे बैठ के उनको interview करके लेती हूँ, या I'm going to observe and then collect, or am I going to collect it from secondary sources, etc. And at that time itself, I'm going to determine how to process it, right? Using a software or using a descriptive study. Some of us may just tabulate the data and write description for it, give our conclusion. That is also acceptable. You just spoke about qualitative research. Like when I talk about emotions, or say psychometric studies, etc. Psychometric studies, मतलब आप psychologist के पास बैठे रहते हैं, they ask you to fill in a questionnaire, etc. What they do is going to be, or they interview you. So they are going to interview, use a schedule and observe you. Based on that, they are going to write their report, right? Which means they are going to decide what they are going to do. And then if you require a statistical analysis, you're going to consult a statistician. statisticians know better what kind of data you can compare. Like for example, if you ask me, if I want to say if I'm a statistician and you come and ask me, ma'am, I have collected data about how often a person gets angry and how often a person gets happy. So what can I do with this? I will advise you, if it is going to be attributes, you can use chi-square method, right? Or if you tell me how often a person eats fast food in a week, then I would say, if it's going to be numerical data, you can definitely use quantitative techniques like t-test, where you compare the means, or one sample test, etc. मैं तुमको advice दूंगी as a statistician, okay? And how best can a result be arrived at? And then prepare dummy tables. Again, you prepare dummy tables so that you can analyze the data, you can know what is there, what is not there, right? To arrive at an idea. Now, after data collection, if you're going to do, you will process the data. First of all, as I told you, you edit code and then upload it in the software. You will prepare tables and upload. Did I show you SPSS tables? When I say tabulated data, I can plot a table with this, number one, right? And I can actually say write a comparative this thing with the help of a graph, table, etc. ये tabulated form में है, I can maybe plot a graph also. See, that is one way of say presenting the data, I would say. Presenting the data with tabular this thing. I mean, just showing you what. Yeah. Let me see, I'm sorry, it's not coming out. So I will plot a table, or I will write a descriptive statistics here, matlab from this year to that year, this has grown, etc. That is one way. Let me just check if the line graph is coming out. This is also a software. Excel jo hai app hai na, it also acts as a software. It does a good job like a software. I'm sorry. I don't know, maybe these are not absolute values, so it is not coming out. So, but this is, so you may plot a say, or you may upload it into softwares and then plot a graph, right? So that is one way of doing it. I did show you, I think, the SPSS data sheet. Koi jawab to do? Then I am going to analyze and interpret the findings. I will say for 2 T's, or I will apply a chi-square and then consult again the statistician. Am I going to apply? See, this data, if I collect, it's going to be wholesome, right? It's going to be like a preference for fast food restaurants. How often do they go? What mode of payment do they adopt? What is the age group? Gender? Sab kuch leti hu. So if it is going to be qualitative, like see, based on the age, payment method is going to be decided. Youngsters would want to pay with credit cards, whereas older people would want to pay with cash. Supposing I want to study this, and then I will say preferred method of payment, and then I will consult what test to apply. Okay. So now I have this, say for example, data view, variable view. Data जो मैंने feed किया है यहाँ पे, you see the age group, and then female, male, and I think this is not too sure of the questions. Wait, variable view में जाके दिखेगा मुझे. SA3 is going to be. SA3 talks about in the past 4 weeks, how many times have you visited a fast food restaurant, right? So I have that as SA3, once, 4, 10 times, 15 times, and so on. समझ में आ रहा है आपको? तो ये सारे हमने स्केल भी पढ़े हैं, नॉमिनल, ऑर्डिनल, सब बराबर. And it's I have classified the age group also here. So if I wanted, I'm going to request a statistician ki help me with some of the data analysis. Supposing I want to see payment method and the age group, right? What they prefer. Samajh mein aa raha hai? Are you following here? See, these are different tools that we use. For example, just give me a sec. Do you see here? Supposing I say employment status and age group के हिसाब से मुझे देखना है डेटा, age group and payment method. ठीक है? I want to see if youngsters use credit card method, debit card method, etc. समझ में आ रहा है? Students, class.
Yes, ma'am.
Answer yes. So I am going to say chi-square. It's a qualitative test. I mean, of course, we have not studied that. So I will apply a chi-square test here and see. That's my output sheet. मुझे कुछ भी नहीं है, 2-3 clicks and then I get everything here, right? So this is what it is. I get this. Are you following? So I'm going to say, does age group have anything to do with their method of payment adopted? That is what I'm going to test. And I've got the results. Data analysis to mera ho gaya. Now interpretation has to be done, which we are going to talk in detail when we come to that. As of now, I'm closing this. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Going back to my PPT. So I'll consult the statistician and I will prepare for editing. I'll ask him what exactly do I have to edit, and then prepare for presentation. Presentation matlab you can present it in tabular form, you can present it in text form, you can present it in graphical form. Samajh mein aa raha hai? Tabular means you're going to have rows and columns. Table banane aata hai na aapko, data ko maine kaise tabulate
Yes,
ho raha tha data. And then graphical, you can also fit graph. Isme bhi SPSS mein bhi graph aata hai. Any software will give you graph, that's it, right? And then
yes, ma'am,
you can have even text presentation. Write up mein, jaise Swati logon ne abhi kiya tha, subah many others also did in your earlier presentation, where they gave a write up about what their findings was. Samajh mein aa raha hai? So that is in text. Now, data analysis research methods, qualitative data where you are going to describe all your findings without any numericals involved, right? Quantitative, like I saw all these converting all the data into numerics and then analyzing the data, like what we did chi-square, where we converted everything into codes and then software may apply. Qualitative bola to say number of females are 60, number of males are 80. So I will give, there are 60 females and I will give it in terms of percentage also. Samajh mein aa raha hai? And I will use the methods descriptive and inferential. Descriptive bola to I'm going to describe the data. जो ग्राफ टेबल वगैरह बनाते हैं ना, there are 50 males, 60 females, and 10 of them are regular fast food center visitors, 90 of them do not visit at all, right? And the remaining are sometimes they visit, sometimes they don't. So जब descriptive statistics I am describing the data, whereas inferential statistics में क्या बोलूंगी, I remember I showed you the chi-square, payment method and age group. I will say, if age group really decides on the payment method they use, does it have an association? Is it connected in any way that older people use credit card, debit card, or younger people use credit card, debit card, etc.? Samajh mein aa raha hai? Are you all getting
yes,
my point here? Inferential means somewhat conclusive about your data. Descriptive, you're just describing the data.